There is no any system that can be able to succeed, any system that can be able to be strengthened without belief and ideology. So belief and ideology are the sources and the foundation of every valuable system. So with belief and ideology, you will see a system being valuable. And every ideology gives form to an organization and effects and behavior of man, whether consciously or unconsciously. So, without ideology, whatever that you do, you cannot be able to make sense of it. Ideology is the core principles that makes a person to be able to understand and to be able to map up way forward as to what he really wants to do. And therefore, we spoke about the concept of religion. The concept of religion. And then we said that when we talk of a religion, which is deen in Arabic, religion comes with the principles and ideologies. So if we really want to be counted amongst believers, we really want to be counted amongst people with the ideologies, then definitely we need to follow those principles, because without those principles, we will be lost in the middle of nowhere. Okay. So in this lesson, specifically, our main aim and objective is that we want to prove what are ideologies and what are the principles of Islam. And we are going to use purely philosophy and logic. Of course, Quran is very important. Here and there, we will be mentioning some verses of the Holy Quran, but we will focus more on logic and philosophy. Why? Because our target is that as students, whenever we go to our universities and we are engaging those that are not Muslims with regards to ideologies and views, it has to be based on pure logic. Because if you want to engage someone, the easiest to be able to convince the person is when it is logical. But when it comes from, belief, sometimes it's a bit difficult. Like, for instance, if you want to prove to someone that Allah is one, and you quote a Quran for him, if he doesn't believe in the Quran, he wouldn't believe in the quotation you are quoting for him. Somebody says, Allah is not one. Then you say, Allah is one. And he says, where is your proof? You say, Allah says in the Quran, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Qul huwa Allahu ahad. And he doesn't believe in your Quran. And in philosophy, every information, they call it proposition. And proposition can be true, it can be false. So everything you hear is a proposition. Proposition has these two. Either it will be true or it will be false. The only time proposition will be true is when there is something they call it instantiation, which matches up with the proposition. And how do you do that? You can only do that through philosophy or logic. And therefore, all the lessons that we are going to study in this Islamic doctrine or aqaid is going to be based on logic and proof. So last week, we spoke about concept of religion. Concept of religion. And then we said that when we say concept of religion, the word concept means ideologies in the mind. Okay? And then we need to understand when we say religion, what is religion all about? And then we explained religion from the technical meaning and from the literal meaning. We have technical meaning and literal meaning. What is technical meaning? Technical meaning of religion is when we say religion from Islamic scholars, what does it mean? And when we say literal meaning, the word religion generally, from the language perspective, what does it mean? Okay. And then we said that when we say religion, technically, it means to believe in God, oneness of God, God who created everything. That is the technical meaning of religion. So for those of us who believe in Allah, when we say God, what we are saying is that we believe in oneness of creator. God, the creator, who created everything. But in terms of literal meaning, or from the language perspective, when we say religion, what is the meaning of religion? Religion means to believe in anything you believe in, and then you live according to rules and principles of whatever you believe in, and then you expect certain reward. You expect certain benefit from what you believe in. So literally, that is the meaning of religion. But we are not talking about the literal meaning of religion or the lexicographical meaning of religion. Instead, we are talking about the technical meaning of religion, which, as I mentioned, I repeat myself, to believe in oneness of God and to believe that that God is the one who created the everything. That is what we know from the technical meaning as God. And then we spoke about the principles of religion. Principles of religion. And then we mentioned when it comes to technical meaning of religion, the principle, the fundamentality of it is belief or beliefs, which are held to be the foundations. And when you believe in God, there are certain belief systems that becomes the foundation. So those belief systems, they become the foundation. And therefore, whatever you do, you have to go through those foundations. It's like a cell phone. If you buy a cell phone, even though you bought it yourself, but you cannot use it the way you want it unless with certain principles. And those principles are the manual of the phone. So if you want to use the phone, you want to enjoy the phone, you really want to benefit from the phone, then you need to read what the manual of the phone says. So you can't say, I bought the phone, so I want to use it anyhow. No, if you do that, you're not going to enjoy the phone. The only way you can enjoy it is through, proper understanding of how to use the phone. So if we believe in oneness of God, and we believe that He is the creator of everything, then it is very important. We need to know what are the principles that we can follow, which are the principles of that one God, so that we can be in line with what He wants. You can't buy a car to say, I bought it, and therefore I want to drive it anyhow. No. When you see a robot, you have to stop. You can't say it is my car and therefore I will pass through the robot. No. Or you can't say it's my car, so I will even drive it on people's yards and houses. No, there must be a set of principles. Because without those principles, then you cannot enjoy the car. So the same way, if God is the one who created us, He created everything, then there must be a set of principles that must come from God, so that we follow those set of principles to be able to, be able to worship that God who created us. So the principles, as I mentioned, one, to believe in those principles, the fundamental belief or beliefs which are held to be the foundation. And number two, we call there's something we say practical rules, which are related to which are related to and emerge from the fundamental belief. So there are fundamental rules. Like for instance, one of the fundamental rules of Islam, those who believe in oneness of God, is that we have to perform salat. So salat is fundamental rule. You cannot be a Muslim and you believe in oneness of God and you decide that I won't perform salat. And if you want to perform salat also, You can't just wake up and then face any direction and perform salat. Because according to the practical rules, you have to face the direction of Qibla. And also, you can't just go and face the direction of Qibla and perform salat. You need to make wudu. You need to know which salat are you performing. Is it Zohar? Is it Asr? Is it Isha? Is it Maghrib? Is it Fajr? And how many raka'at or units that are to be performed. So if you believe in Allah, let's say you believe in Him, and you don't perform salat the way He wants, then you are not following the rules. If you believe in Him and you don't fast in the month of Ramadan, then it means you don't believe in Him. So all this set of rules, that is what becomes the basis for your connection to that oneness of God. Okay, so therefore, when we talk of religion, anybody whatsoever who believes in God, he must follow the principles. He must follow those rules. And based on those rules, he will be seen to be a believer of God Almighty. Now, having said this, I want to draw your attention to something. If you look at this world, not all people believe in God. We have two types of people. There are those who believe in God, and there are those who do not believe in God. Those who do not believe in God, they are known as materialistic people. They say materialistic worldview. In other words, they view the world from material perspective. What is the meaning of materialistic? They believe that this whole world is a world of materiality. So we don't have anything that is immaterial. So for them, all form of existence we have has come from material existence. Like if you go to the Western, philosophers, they have, something they call it the Big Bang Theory. I'm sure some of you have heard that, Big Bang Theory. What is Big Bang Theory? What they are saying is that existence came as a result of that blast. After that explosion, now everything came into existence. And therefore, they don't ascribe existence to something beyond materiality. Like, for instance, when they see you as a human being, your limit is this material body. They don't see anything beyond materiality from each and every, human being. Okay. And then we have the other group. We call them divine. They view this whole world from the position of divinity, and we call them divine worldview. So don't forget, we have two main. We have a materialistic worldview and divine worldview. Remember, when we say religion, when you believe in something, there are rules you need to follow. So if you believe in God, you need to follow, first and foremost, the fundamental belief or beliefs. And then you must also follow what we call the practical rules. So I believe in God. I must believe that God is one. I must believe that there is prophet. I must believe that there is day of Qiyamah. Then after that, I must believe that I need to perform salat. I need to believe that I need to pay my zakat. I need to pay my khums. I need to go to Mecca. I need to fast in the month of Ramadan. So this becomes the principle. But remember, this principle goes with those who believe in one God. What about materialists? Materialists, they don't believe that God exists. They believe that everything we see came as a result of materiality. And therefore, what do they do? How do they live? Because if you believe in materialistic worldview also, there must be a set of principles. So what are the set of principles of materialism? Because materialists do not believe that there is a creator. Whatever they do, they don't do it, with that consciousness of creator. That is why if you look at a materialist, They say God doesn't exist. They don't believe that there is a hell. They don't believe that there is a heaven. They don't believe that there is an angel. To a point, even they don't believe that there is a soul. Inshallah, we'll talk about different types of materialistic worldview, and then we will understand how they also view this world. And look, if a person is a materialist, what is his manual of living this world? The manual is to have more money and enjoy. Because there is nothing that is in his mind that if I don't do things this way, this is what is going to happen to me. For them, it's about if I don't have more money, I will be poor and I will suffer. And I don't want to die poor. And therefore, I need to get money. What are the rules of getting money? It doesn't really matter. The most important thing is if I can be smarter to make the money, then it's finished. I'm fine. So even if I can kill few people to make money, there is no problem. Provided the law, the rules we have cannot arrest me, it's fine. If I can bully some people to make money, then there is no problem. That is why today, if you look at, schools of thought such as capitalism, the founding fathers of capitalism, they don't have the mind of divinity in mind. They don't have that mindset. So what does capitalists do? Capitalists, they only look at benefit, material benefit. So if you have money, you have oil, they need the oil, they need to come there and find a way to take the oil. Even if you are dying, they don't care too much because they don't believe that if through them you die, there will be day of judgment. They don't believe that. So materiality becomes a set of understanding, which is only for this material world, only for this dunya. And you see that everything that is taught in materialistic philosophy is about how to enjoy this life. I don't know if it is clear. MashaAllah. So, these two worldview, divine worldview, materialistic worldview, the main difference is that divine worldview has a belief system, and then it also has practical rules. And when it comes to materialistic worldview, the belief system is to live good life. And then the practical rules is how to be able to live a good life. Finish it. So that is why if you look at the world today, you look at the imbalances that are there. You see people who have gold, even though they are sitting on gold, but they don't benefit from the gold. Somebody else comes and he takes the gold. And then the people are suffering. And that person doesn't care. Because for him, it's just a win-win situation. Let me take it so that I will be good in this dunya. What about akhirah? No, there is no akhirah anymore. We just think about this dunya. Okay? And if you look at the world, I want to draw your attention to something. We've had so many different schools of thoughts, like capitalism, socialism, Christianity, so many isms. All these isms, do you know their ideology? The ideology is that this is the way human beings can live a good life. All forms of isms, all forms of schools of thought is to see to it how human beings can live. But how? Because remember, like capitalism believes that the capitalist system is the only way that can bring humanity together and that can bring peace among humans. But how? How? Because look, capitalism doesn't really care about everybody. Because what capitalism says is that 1% must control the 99%. And if 1% is going to control 99%, how is it that the 99% are going to live good life? They don't care. Okay, so capitalism cannot solve the problem of humanity because any system that can be able to solve the the problems of humanity, must see all human beings to be equal, and must fight for the right of each and every human being. But if there is a system that doesn't fight for the equality of all human beings, then that system cannot be a good system. But here we find ourselves. If you look at this materialistic worldview and divine worldview, materialistic worldview is not at all in favor of equality of entire humanity. It is always for, the few ones to enjoy and the majority to suffer. That is why today, practically, you can see, even here in South Africa, we have diamonds, we have, coal, we have iron ore, and whatever. In our schools, hardly do we study these things. You go to the school, which do we have even courses that deals with the diamonds and gold? We don't have. Because these people, they don't want you to think about that. That is this. So what they tell you, go and study computer science. Go and study, accountancy. Go and study this, go and study that. Okay? But the real things, like minerals, hardly do they talk about. And our survival and equality is in that particular side of our, resources. Today, at our schools, at our universities, courses that we're supposed to be studying is our minerals. These, like here in South Africa, almost we should have more than 70-80% of students, when they go, their study should be minerals and all this, because that is what we have, and that is what is going to create equality. But because capitalism is in such a way that let's take these things away from them, so we don't even awaken their consciousness towards it. You see, somebody goes to university, he studies HR. Thousands of people are studying HR. In a company, how many HRs they need? Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. And you graduate with the HR. How are you going to get a job? You won't get a job. Because your mind is made to study these things so that you will be out of the reality that will create equality. That is materialistic worldview. Unfortunately, today, the world we live in, the predominant school of thought is materialist philosophy. And therefore, even our, everything that we have, it is founded on materiality. I hope it's clear so far. Okay. Is there any question so far? So we understand. Okay, go ahead.
So, Melanie, you said that Christianity would fall under not the divine worldview, rather it would fall under the
materialistic. No. Christianity falls under divine worldview. Any religion that is founded on belief, okay, we categorize all of it under divine worldview. But also in divine worldview, we have wrong divine worldviews and correct divine worldview. We'll come to that.
I have another question.
Yes.
So, when we look at Hinduism, right?
Yes.
Hinduism is based on the fundamentals of it.
Oh, okay.
So, Mulana, when we, for example, speak about Hinduism, we said that Hinduism is focused on, so even though it's wrong divine worldview, but still on the divine worldview that there is some sort of divinity, and that divinity is the basis of their life. However, the goal in their life is to live a good life, so that in your new life, when you're reincarnated, you're going to be reincarnated as someone better, but of a higher ranking. So, Mulana, they have that divinity concept, but when they speak about living your life, it's based on a materialistic view. So, where would they fall in this?
Yeah, this is a very, very good question. Okay. You see, we have materialistic worldview. Even though we have called it materialistic worldview, we don't have only one school of thought under materialistic worldview. We have so many schools of thought. Okay, so inshallah, we'll talk about the different schools of thought within materialistic worldview. The same way, if you come to divine worldview, we have different schools of thought that falls under divine worldview. But the clearest difference between divine worldview and materialistic worldview is that any school of thought that believes in divinity, like these people, as you said, they believe that you live a good life, and they believe that you will come back. You will come back. You see, that makes us to put them amongst the divinity. Even like those who believe that God exists, but they worship God through stones, maybe through maybe some sculpture and all that. All of them, they are part of divine worldview. But we will come to that. So that we look at, like, remember now when we said divine worldview and materialistic worldview, the definition we gave, the correct divine worldview is that to believe in oneness of God. Okay, but yes, somebody who believes that worshiping that God through a rock is classified under divine, but his ideologies are wrong. But we'll talk about that. And so Hindus also, they happen to fall under that category. Now, is there any question? Okay. Now, if there is no question, now let's proceed. So now, from the question you ask, now we go to what we call revealed religions under divine worldview. We have religions, we call them revealed religions. So from revealed religions, we're able to separate the boys from the men. Even though we know we have a divine worldview, but we want to know which one is the correct divine worldview and which one is incorrect divine religion. So here we talk about the revealed religion. As we all know, when we speak as Muslims, we know that Allah sent 124,000 prophets. Okay? All of them, they came with something that is constant amongst all of them. We call it is the fundamentals of religion. All of them, they spoke about oneness of God. All of them, they spoke about prophethood, and all of them, they spoke about the day of judgment. So how do we know correct divine worldview and incorrect divine worldview? We know it through these three fundamental principles. Any worldview, divine worldview that believes in oneness of God, it believes in prophethood, and it believes in the day of judgment, it is a correct worldview. But any worldview that does not believe in this three, even though it is classified under divinity, but it is not correct worldview. So that is why, as Muslim, you have to believe in all the prophets. Even if you take one out of all, you are not a Muslim. Because it is a conditional that all the prophets, they were the prophets of God. And let me tell you the philosophy behind that. We have one God. We said that when we say religion, the technical meaning, we said to believe in God. And then also to believe that he created everything. And in the explanation, I told you that you need to have a manual, and that manual has to resonate with that God. Okay, so look at this revealed religion. We have oneness of God. The prophet is the one who becomes the manual. He teaches people how to live. He teaches people how Allah wants them to live. So that is why it is part of the fundamentality of revealed religion. Because without Prophet, how are we going to live? Without Prophet, how do we know Salat al-Fajr is 2 rakat? Without Prophet, how do we know that we fast in the month of Ramadan and not in the month of Shawwal? Without Prophet, how do we know that we have to go to Hajj? Without Prophet, how are we going to know that we need to circumambulate around Kaaba 7 times? So Prophet becomes what? The one that guides us to the oneness of God. And if we follow the Prophet, then in the day of Qiyamah, we are saved. Because we will be judged and all of us will pass the judgment. We will go to Jannah. Okay? But if we don't follow the Prophet, then what happens? Then it means that we have failed. It means we didn't follow the manual. And if you don't follow the manual, you are not going to enjoy the phone. If you don't follow the manual, it means you're not going to enjoy the car. So if you don't follow your Prophet, then in the day of Qiyamah, you are going to find yourself in difficulty. So all the revealed religion, these 3 fundamentals, are firmly established. So from there, we remove Hindus. From there, we remove those who believe in idols, even though they believe that they worship God through idols. Now, they are not part of the divine because they don't have the fundamental, 3 fundamental principles of world view. Now, another thing that is very important we need to know. As a human being, you ask yourself certain questions. The first question is, 1,000 years ago, where were you? Where were you 1,000 years ago? Alam al-Arwah. Do you agree? Of course, from faith perspective, from Iman and from us Muslims, we say we were in the world of spirit and souls, which is Alam al-Arwah. But let's say if you ask somebody who doesn't believe in Alam al-Arwah, you ask him 1,000 years ago, where were you? What do you think will be his answer? You were not in existence. Okay, that is good. But was there any plan that you will come into existence or not? It's 2 things. Either we say that there was a plan you will come, or we say there was no plan, you just came in without a plan. And of course, it can be that you just came in without a plan. So there was a plan, even though you are not here, but there was a plan, and in succession that eventually you will come. So if there is a plan, who made that plan? Who made that plan? That means there is a master plan. It's like if you want to build a house, right? Let's say you want to build 4-bedroom house. And the cost of that 4-bedroom house is 1.5 million rand. To buy the land, the stand, and to build the 4-bedroom house. Okay. So once you have that 1.5 million rand, you can promise me a house, a room in that house, isn't it? But where is the house? It's not yet built. But because I have the money, the cost of the money. And when we are going to build that house, we have to first dig the foundation and start building until we'll get to the roof and cover. We cannot start from the roof to come to the foundation because that is impossible. So the same way, if 1,000 years ago I was not there, does it mean that I was not part of the plan at all? No, I was part of the plan. It means somebody has planned me and others and everything that exists. But the time for us to come was not yet due. Because logically, it wouldn't make sense to say that 1,000 years ago, you were not there, and there was no plan at all for your coming. That is completely wrong. Logically, it doesn't make sense. Okay? So from that perspective, you understand that there is somebody, okay, who planned your coming. And today, 2024, you are here. The question you ask yourself, hey, what am I doing here? What is my mission? Isn't it? So what is your mission here? Okay, yeah, it's good, but that is, from religious perspective. But just ask yourself, what am I doing here? Here, this dunya, I'm here right now. What am I doing? What is my mission? What do you think is your mission? Eh? To grow old. Yes. To grow old. But you cannot just grow old if you don't put certain things in perspective. You need to eat, you need to sleep, you need to exercise, you need to do all these things to grow old. Isn't it? So what do you think we are here to do?
Not from non-religious perspective.
Yes.
Not even if it's a non-religious perspective. I think, like you mentioned earlier, is to live your life a certain way with a certain goal.
Absolutely.
It can be good or bad, but there's always an end goal.
Absolutely. So you are here to live. I want to live. I want to eat. I want to sleep. I want to do this. So the question is, if you want to eat, who planned your food? Did you come with your food? So why you don't want to think about who brought your food? Why you don't want to think about it? If you want to live, you breathe in and out. When you came, did you come with your air? Who planned your air? Why you don't think about who planned your air? Okay. So a logical person will think about all these things. And you know what is so amazing? What is so amazing? You came here and you needed meat to eat, and you found the meat here. And you don't ask yourself, who made the meat? Yani, it will be completely backward thinking for not you to think about the meat that you are eating. You came here, you didn't bring pineapple, you didn't bring orange, you didn't bring, what do we call them? A mango, but you found them here. And look at this. Every time you want to eat mango, you eat mango. Even now, the mango you're going to eat in 2026 has not yet been, it has not even grown yet. The fruit has not yet been produced yet. But the mango is preparing itself for 2026, and you're also preparing 20 so that you're going to meet each other and then you eat it. And the mango you are eating today and the mango in 2026 will have almost the same taste. And you don't want to think that somebody planned this. Then that means something is wrong with you. Serious, isn't it? Something typical is wrong with you. Okay, so 1,000 years ago, you were not existing, but yes, you were in the making. And today you are here. So now you see so many things. So you must think about, while I was in the making, there were things I needed. So the one who was putting me through this also has created all this environment for me so that I live. And therefore, you have to look for that person. Look for the one who created you and he created man. Look for the one who planned you and he planned the sun. Look for the one who planned you and he planned the moon. Imagine if there is no sun, who can live? Who can survive? The day the sun will expire, all of us will die. Do you know that the sun will expire one day? Imagine if it is going to expire tomorrow. All of us will be dead. So that means the one who planned our survival, he knew that without the sun, we cannot survive. So he created the sun together with us. Okay. So now we are here. And we know whether we are Muslims or we are non-Muslims, we know we will die. Isn't it? Is there anyone who knows that he won't die? So the question is, when we die, where do we go? Where do we go? Where do you think we go when we die? Eh?
Not from non-religious religion.
Yeah, general. I want us to talk more on non-religious, not religious. Okay? Now, where do you think we'll go when we die? We'll go in the ground. And then what happened there? Nothing. Okay, so from non-religious, what they say is that we die, we are buried, we get rotten, and it ends there, right? That's good. So that means Pharaoh died, Namrud died, Saddam Hussein died, and all of them will be rotten like that. And the people Pharaoh killed, they also died. The people Namrud killed, they died. The people Saddam Hussein oppressed, all of them, they died. So what is the use of life? We all came here. Some people bullied others, and all of them, they died. And it ends there. And how can this be possible that we just came here to bully each other and kill each other and we die and it ends there? Does it make sense to you? It doesn't make sense. And therefore, it cannot make sense that 1,000 years ago we were nowhere. We just came here, we found mango, and we hit each other, we kill each other, we steal from each other, we died, and it ends there. No, life is finished. And there is no need for us to leave. Why must you leave? Why must you struggle and somebody is looking for you to take from you? And if you die, it finishes. The person dies, it finishes. It means that there is no wisdom behind our existence. There is no wisdom behind this whole creation. There's no wisdom behind the sun. There is no wisdom behind the moon. It is just, just like that, without any intelligence, without any, logic, without any philosophy. And we all understand, even in this dunya, when you hurt someone, the person wants redress. That is why even we human beings, we have court, we have judges, we have prisons. Why? Because we want redress. If somebody hurts you, you take him to court. Why? Because you want to take back your right. But now here we are. What about the sun and then the moon, the one who created it, the air? He created it for us, all of us equally. And now I deny you to enjoy the mango. And we die and you die and it ends there. So it doesn't make sense that somebody, a reasonable person, will think that when we die, it ends there. Because there must be a place where there will be redress. There will be judgment. So that the mango I took from you here, a boss must come and say, you, in 2024, you took mango from him. Why did you take it? I have to respond. That is when life will be meaningful. But if life is not going to be like that, then it means life is useless. Then there's no need for me to live. But we want to live. We want to live. Why? Because we want to gain things. And we have to be cautious of how we gain. Because if you don't gain them the proper way, there will come a day, the one who planned us 1,000 years ago, or even 1,000,000,000 years ago, who brought us in this 2024, who is going to take us out of this place in maybe 2095. One day he will come and call all of us and say, you, I gave you the sun. What did you use it for? I gave you the moon. I gave you the air. I gave you this brother. I gave you that brother. If you were oppressing those brothers, then you need to answer. You have to answer. So that is why these logical questions, they become the foundation of our quest to know who God is. Okay? We start to think about this. Who created us? What does he want from us? How does he want us to live? And that is what eventually will help us to understand the divinity of God. I hope it's clear. Is there any question? Then me, I will ask a question. صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. صل على محمد محمد. Yeah, no problem. So anybody who has question, even maybe later if you want to type and ask, you are welcome to ask the question, inshallah. And inshallah, we apologize. We started a little bit late this week. And inshallah, next week we'll make sure that, tomorrow, 9 o'clock sharp, the lessons will start. And inshallah, next week we'll make sure that between 9 and 10, we are going to be together, inshallah. Inshallah. Also, our registration details, because remember, this course, we really want to make it extensive so that at the end of the day, we'll be writing exams and certificate will be awarded. That is why we have chosen these two subjects. For now, we are doing Aqaid and fiqh. And as we go along, we will introduce other lessons. And please, we need your comments. Maybe if there are certain things you think we can do to enhance it, or maybe there are certain things you don't understand, please, you are welcome to do so that together we can be able to learn, inshallah. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد وعجل فرجهم.